All right, so let's start with the next session. So we have our so we have 1 hour and a half. So yeah, okay. So more or less we have 20 minutes per paper. Okay, so
Yeah.
that, so we need some time for the question. So let's go to the first one. It's Industry Academia Apply IoT Research for SMEs. It's how it's with Sweden.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so thank you and welcome. This project is actually a simpler name, IoT-lab SME. It's, yeah, IoT, we all know what that is. SME is small and medium-sized enterprises. So this project is aimed at small and medium enterprises. And what is a small and medium enterprise? Well, in the definition we use, it is companies with less than 250 employees. My name is Johan Leitet. I'm a lecturer in computer science at the Linnaeus University. This is also the region around the Linnaeus University where this project is aiming for, and companies in that region. So I think we should start off by looking at that region because I don't think anyone knows where it is. This is Sweden, obviously, Gothenburg, Malmö, Stockholm, and Kalmar, Växjö is in the southeast of Sweden. The region is the yellow one. We see that there are two cities, Kalmar and Växjö. They both had universities before, but in 2010 we merged the universities and became the Linnaeus University. So it's a pretty young university. The population in this area is around 500,000. So, what are we doing in this project? Well, the aim of the project is to strengthen those companies, the small and medium-sized companies in this region in terms of IoT. There are a lot of companies in this region, small companies, traditional companies. A lot of them don't know the term IoT, have never heard of it. Some of them have and are curious. And some of the companies are really proficient in computer science, IoT, and things like that. So the aim of the project is to like get all of those companies and elevate them in their IoT experience. To do this, the project has hired quite a lot of people. We have research engineers that are helping with practical stuff, like we have Mustafa, who is an electrical engineer, helping with those kinds of stuff. We have David Mosat, that is more on the, what should we say, sensor and things like that, working with those kinds of stuff. We have two postdocs, Neda and Arslan. We have a project manager, Fredrik, he's sitting right over here, who is managing the project. And we also have, and I brought him on, John, that is a business developer. So this is not just a technical project. We also have the Baltic Business School and John helping us with lifting the business models for the projects as well. And then we have a list of other people at the department and faculty that are helping along in this project as well. And my name is there as well. I have a small part in this project. So what are those people doing then in the project? Well, we have activities in this project. We have a lab, an open lab. We're building an environment, a physical environment at the university where companies can come in to the university, to our floor, test out stuff that they don't have themselves, like sensors, like microcontrollers. We have a PCB printer, so we can do some simple prototyping. We have 3D printers and just a lot of gadgets that the companies can use in this lab. Also trying to build like this environment on the university where it's open and it's free and it's like come to us and work with us. We do workshops that are more aimed towards like connecting a temperature sensor, for instance, to a LoRaWAN network and presenting the data. That could be a typical workshop where you sign up you come to us and we do this together, or we take the workshop out to a company and do the same thing at the company. We are trying to spread awareness around IoT as well. As I said, not everybody knows what IoT is. Fredrik is doing a great job with that spreading awareness, trying to show this to the public. One example, if you might have seen us yesterday, we went around with a camera and interviewed a lot of people down in the booths on the 5th floor. This was for a 12-hour live stream that we had yesterday on YouTube. Based in Kalmar, but we were here, so why not film from here as well? And that is for a summer course in IoT. So we have 400 students taking a summer course connected to the open lab. And that summer course and those students, this live stream was a part of that course. And it's there so you can have a look and maybe meet some of the companies downstairs if you haven't had time to talk to them. Those are things we are doing, but the main thing I will talk about today is the pilot cases. We try to engage a company in a more close relationship, and we work with that company to lift them up. It could be like proof of concepts. It could be that we are evaluating if LoRaWAN is the right way to go, or LTE, for instance, and we can do evaluations like that. And we also help with business development. We have, and this list of pilot cases is pilot cases that are just ending now and are finished. And we have new pilot cases coming in all the time. What we see here is HonestBox. That's a small company that makes this autonomous businesses where you can just go in with a credit card, pick whatever you like, and leave without having staff present. And they want help with redundancy, with what happens if the mobile connection dies. Could we use LoRaWAN as a backup, for instance? But I will focus on 3 different pilot cases because that's all the time I have. But that will be B-Lab, Phlobic, and Stens Skärk. And we will start with the first one that is actually one of the easier pilot cases for us, at least. Maybe not for the company, but for us, this was a pretty easy project. I will click so we have a small movie as well when I'm talking. So this is Stens Skärk. They are manufacturing sausages in this building. It's small company, very manual, classical company, not a lot of IoT experience, if any. But they had a problem, and the problem when you work with sausages and the meat industry, you need to always be sure to have the correct temperatures in every part of the production process. And as of right now, they had to measure this all the time, manually, write down reports and send in to the authorities. So what we did was just placing a simple Dragino sensor, an LTH65 sensor, over LoRaWAN to just measure these temperatures, collecting them for them, giving them a report that they can hand in to the authorities. And yeah, a simple, for us at least, project, but helping them a lot. And they can now, they have a gateway now, a LoRa gateway, and now they can start thinking about the next step in that process. Next project is B-Lab. This one is really interesting because on the roof, this is actually on the roof on our IoT lab, we have installed a beehive. So B-Lab has helped us to install a beehive on our roof. What B-Lab does is that they are connecting beehives and they're connecting them so that they can measure things like weight, how much honey is produced, how much food in the winter are the bees producing, so that the farmer could know, okay, it's time to go and give more food to the bees. And in this case, B-Lab, they had a working prototype, and they have beehives actually all around the world, I think. Even in New York, they have a beehive standing which can be connected. However, the problem is that they are right now using Raspberry Pis, If you know a Raspberry Pi needs power, if you think about where beehives often are located, it's not where you have an outlet. So they wanted something more power efficient. So what we are doing for them is helping them to evaluate LoRaWAN, LTE, and different sensors and finding something that is suitable for them. In this case, we have landed in an LTE solution, so we will not use LoRaWAN in this case. And this project, I mean, it could, this project could grow, of course. Here, there are a lot of things you can do with beehives. They are really interesting. You can, for instance, we have a student project, a thesis project that's aimed for listening to the bees. Because if you listen to the bees, you can know if half of the society is about to leave, to take a new queen and leave. And that you can use machine learning and listen to the bees, and then you could basically get an alarm as a farmer that, oh no, half of your bee society is about to leave. You can go there, get the swarm, and put that into a new society. It's also that these domestic bees, they are not able to handle themselves in nature. So if they were to swarm, leave, they will probably die. So you need to take care of them. Next one, Phlobic. This one is a dam, I think it's called. A lot of reservoirs that are filtering water from Kalmar Airport. So the airport has some pollution from different kind of mixtures that they put on the plane and stuff. And this water comes out in this dam, and then it's filtered and before it's let out in the Baltic Sea. So Phlobic is a company that is working together with natural sciences at the university to measure different kind of how are those dams performing. No one really knows because there are no sensors. Sometime every year someone goes out and measures the water temperature and the conductivity and stuff in the water, but no one really knows. So what Phlobic is helping natural sciences we are helping Phlobic with is to putting up weather stations, measuring water levels, conductivity in the water and things like that. In this case we are actually using LoRaWAN and we are using helium as the carrier in this case because that was the best option for this place. In this case we are using a lot of sensors. I don't know them all, but they're in the paper if you are more interested in that. What have we learned? So, I mean, working with low-tech companies like Stenschack, for instance, they can benefit a lot from just taking a simple manual task and automating it. That will save them a lot of time and money in the end. High-tech companies can benefit from this on the other hand, that we can help them evaluate and go even further and find more effective solutions. It's not for every company. We have had some companies that we have tried to have wireless connections. For instance, we have this company that are putting down, I don't even know what it's called, but they are putting down water in sewage systems and cleaning the sewage systems. And they wanted something to mount in the end of that cleaning system to communicate wirelessly to a truck. We tried that. The problem was it's buried in the ground, and it could be several hundred meters away, and we couldn't really find a good solution for that using wireless. And so it wasn't for them, but at least we tried. What we also have experienced is it's really hard to reach a broader audience today. Even though we try to stream on YouTube, we try to be in the local news, to attract people to come to our workshops, it's really hard. So we are taking a bit of a different approach there, working with local influencers, I'm calling them. Don't think about the influencers you see on Instagram maybe, but this is more like influencers that has a lot of clout in the community of the companies. So we try to target them and make them create those workshops for us, and then we can go there and and reach out in that way. One of the companies said that just because the small project we help them with will actually save them quite a lot of money in the end. So of course that was one of the goals. Well, there was 18 minutes, I think, on the clock. So thank you for that. Any questions? I have a couple of minutes. Yeah.
Very interesting talk. We do the same in Aarhus University, like for the region there, like.
Yeah.
So it's good to learn, from you, like the topic. Question how do you deal with the financial of the project company? So for example, like, does the company pay for the parts, or do you have some kind of financial from the company for the students, and how do you ensure that like goes smooth, like? And the second thing is like, you use helium. Do you use the helium to create some kind of funds for the open lab? Or like,
Yeah. Yeah, and I will repeat, thank you for the question, I will repeat that now. How about funding for things like sensors? Do we help the companies with that? No, we don't. We help them just with like starting their journey. We're not there until the end. We are just like trying to accelerate. So the companies, they buy their own sensors. We can advise them to buy a certain sensor and a certain gateway, but we don't buy them for them. They do that by themselves.
You just facilitate the workshops. You don't do work within the company. Like this, the videos which you saw, like it was inside the company, like the one with the measuring temperature and this kind of stuff, like
Yeah.
for the sauces. Like,
Yeah.
So what was there like? Did you pay for the sensors, or the company had to buy the sensors? Then you put the program. What was the?
Yeah, Fredrik, you are not. Come up.
We actually work very closely with the company. So we do like workshops, obviously, that is one thing, but yeah, we do work. So we put the research engineer directly into the company. And usually this is very flexible. So some companies, they have their stand-up meetings, and then maybe we jack in and try to do. Other companies, we more or less help them develop a product. So in one of the cases, we have developed a front end and the Modbus communication protocol and like in everything. It really depends, I would say.
So how is finance done? Is it like
That is finance. We pay, like they don't have, the companies don't need to find, like the time is what costs money. And that is like the sales pitch for the companies is that, well, buying gateway and a couple of sensors is like in Swedish, like 1,000 euros, you get a long way of just testing out things. Consultant hours or just trying out, that's what's costly. And that is free. So we give that for free. And that is why we have a big emphasis on the research engineers. The postdocs are really good, but they are like not optimal in actually helping out companies. Then you should have a young research engineers willing to do dirty work and really happy to do it. So that is, I think, the magic.
How do you ensure that you don't create a kind of competition with local small consultancies which they want to do something?
Yeah, that's a very good question. We need to be very aware of that because we cannot compete with those. We are not allowed to compete. So we're trying to, like, we should not be delivering anything that is a product. And we document everything so they should be able to continue that journey. And so we were very clear that this is a prototype, we're testing things out, this is not the product. They will receive a prototype at best. So, but yeah, it's a gray area. To be honest, it's a gray area.
Yeah. And this is actually why, I mean, Phlobic is a great example. That Phlobic is a local development company, and we could just mix and match and found that, okay, they have this need and we have this company, then we could match them together and we can kind of step back. Just a short on the helium as well. We don't have a helium gateway, I think, yet on the university because Kalmar was pretty early on the helium train. So Kalmar had a great built-out helium network from the start. So in this case, I guess that the Phlobic is just buying helium data credits from helium and like running on that. Yeah, if we have time.
I see different labels on the devices. Do you have one vendor that you can get most stuff from? Do you host data yourself, or
yeah, we
solder stuff together?
Yeah. At the lab, we have different kinds of everything. We try to, like, if there is a new sensor that is interesting, we buy it for the lab and we can have it to try out. Then we can, like, advise the companies to we know, we have worked with this Regino sensor, we know that it works well, we know the limitations, then we could say that. But of course, they are free to choose whatever they like. So we don't have specific manufacturers, no.
When you put the data, when you store the data, is that locally at the company or a cloud provider?
That differs from project to project. And I'm not even sure where how Phlobic is doing this.
They are hosting their own infrastructure.
They are hosting their own, yeah. But that could differ from project to project. And that's a problem with, for instance, Stensjak. In a company like this, where they have not that high IT competence inside, it could be hard to, I mean, we are stepping down, and then they have sensors and they have data. How to maintain that, and that could be a problem in the long run. Yeah.
So right here.
Yep.
So I have a question. I think that SME has get some benefit to the sensor and the data, but can you measure such a an advantage or the benefit or some KPI or the metrics to how much data they get or how much impact to their business?
Yeah, that's a good question.
You install the deploy the
Yeah.
sensors and data.
Yeah, Fredrik, do you want to answer
I
that?
can probably pick up on that answer. We have a business developer in the project, working 20% in the project. So he's from the economy school, so we put him in the project just because of those questions. We are very much technology focused, and we should be. So we are sort of focusing on the technology. But he's only focusing on the business development. So he's asking early on in the pilot cases, they have I think a temperature barometer or some kind, well, they have some kind of framework, and then they follow up. So he's asking exactly those questions. How are you going to use this for developing your business? Because I think that is probably one of the most important points. Right? Well, we all like technology, but actually no one cares if there is no money in it.
So your focus is reducing the cost or increasing the revenue?
It could be either. It could be either.
Okay.
It could be that they're developing a new product and actually launching something new into the market, or it could be that they're reducing costs and making their business more competitive. So for one of the cases, I think they had a calculation of like just people driving around all over Sweden for measuring these filters, because that's QTF. And there were loads of money just by driving around and checking things manually. And hundreds of thousands of crowns, like every month, because hotel nights and transport and everything. So a few companies, they have a super clear business case. Some other companies, maybe not that clear, but they will get there.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, let's move to the next presentation.